Mt Baw Baw is Victoria's own scrappy alpine outpost, just 3 hours from Melbourne, where you can indulge in skiing, tobogganing and even sled dog tours. In this guide, I'll cover the various transport options to get there, as well as what activities are available at the resort. If you are looking for alpine adventure without the long haul to the big boys like 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗏 or 𝗡𝗏, Mt Baw Baw is your answer. It is just 2.5 hours drive from Melbourne. It's compact, charming and surprisingly thrilling. Unlike Mt Baw and Lake Mountain, which caters more towards toboggans and snow play, Mt Baw Baw is Melbourne's closest ski resort, where you can ski or snowboard down fresh mountain powder. Think less of a ski bro vibe and more of a family ski resort. In this guide, I'll cover the various transport options to get there, equipment hire, and the activities at the resort. I'll also cover some of the sights you can see along the way on your trip to the mountain. Snow season in Victoria typically runs from mid-June to early October. A good website to check snow forecast is snowforecast.com, where you can see projected snowfalls up to 5 days in advance. Another website with long-range forecasts is SnowWatch. I typically try to visit the day after the snowfall, as there will be snow on the ground and the sky is not actively snowing on me. When the snow falls on you, your body heat typically causes it to melt, resulting in wet clothing. On the day before your trip, you can check the snow conditions on the resort website, where they have multiple webcams and you can decide if you wish to go. Mt Baw Baw has accommodation on site, which you can book on their website. However, these are not cheap and you will need to book very early in advance for peak periods like the school holidays. Cabins and rooms are available from $200 to $1,100 a night. The easiest way to get there is to drive yourself. There are two routes there, via the Yarra Junction Noojee Road, which is shorter but is mostly country roads, and via the Princess Freeway to Drouin and then up to Noojee, which is longer but is mostly highway roads. Both routes take the same amount of time. Do check if there are any road closures during winter, such as the Yarra Junction Noojee Road, before you start your journey. Vehicles travelling to the resort during declared snow seasons are legally required to carry snow chains. You can rent some at Noojee Bush Goods or Tanjil Brand Chain Hire, or even at the Mt Baw Baw Resort entry. If you're just visiting for the day, you should be fine. However, if you plan to stay overnight, you should probably change the water in your radiator to antifreeze coolant. You can get this done at your mechanic or you can buy it yourself at a car supply shop like Autobahn or Supercheap. This is to prevent the water in your radiator freezing overnight and cracking your pipes. Vehicles using diesel need to pump up with Alpine diesel, which is available at petrol stations at the surrounding towns near the mountain. If you use Google Maps for navigation, do remember to download offline maps as mobile signal may be patchy. I have a video on how to do that in the video description below. If you are concerned with driving in the snow, you can drive up to the resort entry and take a shuttle bus from the resort entry gate to the top of the resort for $30 return trip. You can also use public transport to get to Mt Baw Baw by catching a regional train from Southern Cross Station to either Moe or Warragul Station, which costs around $7 to $10. From Moe, you can take a taxi. A contact is available on Mt Baw Baw website, with one-way trips costing about $250. It is approximately a 1.5 hour drive from Moe Station to Mt Baw Baw. The taxi typically drops you at the resort entry gate at the base of the mountain, and you need to book a shuttle bus up. If you wish the taxi to take you up to the resort, you have to book the car entry pass at $67, but enter a car registration code of 000000 since you won't know what the taxi's registration number will be until you arrive at the train station. You can also book a day tour from one of the many tour providers, which will pick you up from Federation Square and drive you to the resort, stopping along the way for ski equipment hire. You can find these tour operators on Mt Baw Baw's website. The disadvantage of a day tour is that your visit is dictated by the tour operator's schedule. Generally, if you need to hire skis, snowboard or other equipment, I would recommend hiring it at the resort. The prices are similar and you have the advantage of swapping out the equipment if you find the fit incorrect. If you rent it from providers outside the resort, then you have to look after the equipment wherever you go, especially when you're tired of skiing and just want to explore the rest of the resort. You may want to consider renting ski equipment from outside the resort such as Noojee Bush Goods if you are arriving late in the day and are worried that the resort may be booked out of equipment in your size. Also, YouTube says less than 5% of you are subscribed, so help a mate out and smash that like and subscribe button. The resort entry opens at 8 AM, so I started my journey at 6 AM in order to avoid the crowds. My journey takes me towards 𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗏 Junction, and the drive alternated between very dark under the trees or foggy mist over the country roads. In my previous guide for Mt Baw Baw, I highlighted the risk of driving in Australia in the dark, so do watch out for the occasional kangaroo standing in the middle of the road like it owns the place. Noojee is a good midpoint to take a rest stop to use the facilities. The Bennett Street Playground has tables and toilet facilities for a picnic, as well as providing children an opportunity to work off some of their pent-up energy. Nearby, you also find Noojee Bush Goods if you need to rent snow chains or wish to hire ski equipment. Past Noojee, you encounter a lot of narrow and winding roads with some stretches wide enough for only a single car. Gritting my teeth, it takes all my concentration to wrestle with the winding roads, making me question why I didn't take a day tour or taxi instead. The ticket entry booth is located at the base of the mountain, and this is also where you're instructed to put on snow chains if the conditions require it. Tickets for a car typically cost about $67. Driving up, the roads were very clear as there wasn't any snow the day before. For day trip visitors, your pass allows you to park at any car park, with car park 1 being the closest to the resort. You'll be given this pass. You need to pop this on your dashboard as it represents which car parks you can park at. Next to a car park, you find the guest services building, which also houses the toilets. The origins of Mt Baw Baw as a recreational alpine destination dates back to the 1940s, when skiers and bushwalkers first began venturing up the rugged terrain. By the 1970s, basic ski lifts and lodge accommodation had been built, evolving over time into today's fully functioning resort village, complete with toboggan slopes, snow play zones, and ski runs. This is a place where winter isn't just a season, it's a personality, and like all big personalities, it's got a little charm, a little danger, and a knack for making you spend more money than you intended. Unlike the towering remote ski fields of the high country, Baw Baw is more accessible and beginner-friendly, making it the go-to for families, first-timers, and people who want a dose of snow without signing up for Mount Everest. Walking in, you can see the many cabin accommodations lining the street. At the central square, you find the equipment rental shop, opposite the Village Central restaurant. Ski and snowboard rental is easy, with the shop offering everything from snowboard and skis to jackets, gloves and helmets. Rental packages are available for kids and adults, so if you show up in nothing but a hoodie and running shoes, they'll sort you out. Walking on down the main road, you find a warm eating area near the dingo pens. This is a free public shelter with plenty of tables and an electric barbecue to cook your food. You can bring your own food and sizzle up a sausage while watching the snow fall, a classic Aussie winter picnic. Further on down, you'll find the ski school, where you can buy your ski lift passes or sign up for skiing lessons. Mt Baw Baw has 7 lifts, including 5 T-bars and 2 magic carpets, making it perfect for learners and intermediates. Don't come here expecting backcountry double black diamond madness, but do expect smooth runs, chill vibes, and easy glides. Key ski runs include the Hut Run, Summit Run, and the Champagne Run. Also nearby, you can see the snow school instructors giving lessons to a group of shaky first-timers. If you have never skied before, it is highly recommended to take some lessons to nail down the basics before you hit the slopes. I had injured my elbow the week earlier, so I had decided not to do any skiing this visit. I was hoping to take a hike up the mountain, but I didn't realize that hiking in winter would require snowshoes, which I had not rented. Lesson learned for the next visit. One of Mt Baw Baw's signature attractions is its Howling Huskies sled dog tours, where you can take a ride through postcard-perfect snow trails pulled by a team of real Siberian Huskies. They are located next to the 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗗𝗡𝗏, and you can hear them from far away as the Huskies are very active and social animals and love howling to each other. The sled rides aren't cheap though, as a 30-minute ride will set you back $330, while the Summit Sunset Tour of 1 hour will set you back $700. There is also a cheaper pet and play for $20. For those who crave a little less adventure, there's a family-friendly toboggan sledding area towards the center of the resort. Pure joy for kids and for adults who have just enough wine to forget their knees aren't 20 years old anymore. Opposite the Toboggan Run, you'll find Cafe 11 for some hot food and drinks. They serve up some good food and coffee, but be prepared for the resort prices, which is expected as the resort is very remote and they need to transport the food and supplies all the way up the mountain. I availed myself to a cup of hot coffee, which is quite good to warm myself up. I made my way back to the car park, where I made myself a simple and quick lunch. Packing your own food is a convenient way to save money on your trip here. I had previously bought this gas cooker from Kmart, which is a great kit. I had also bought this camping mess tin from AliExpress, which I was keen to try out. It is quite large, and one of the things I liked was that it had a lid to speed up boiling of water. This was my first time using it, so I kept it simple and just made instant noodles. I also use this small kettle to boil some water for a coffee. The size is just right for 1 cup. After lunch, I made my journey home to avoid the traffic later. As I was leaving, I could see the crowds building up. On my way back, I stopped by the Noojee Trestle Bridge, Victoria's hidden timber giant. Located just outside the town of its namesake, the Trestle Bridge stands as a relic from another era. A towering wooden monument to Australia's rail history, surrounded by ferns, mountain ash, and the faint whisper of steam engines long gone. The bridge was built in 1919, rising out of the ashes, literally, of repeated bushfires that destroyed earlier railway infrastructure. Part of the Noojee railway line, this 100-meter long, 21-meter high timber trestle bridge helped connect the local timber industry to Melbourne via the town of Warragul. It was one of 7 trestle bridges along the line and is now the last remaining survivor, and the largest of its kind in Victoria still standing. After the railway line closed in 1958, the bridge faded into obscurity, but it never truly disappeared. Today, it's been lovingly restored as a heritage site and a walking trail, offering one of the most photogenic and unexpectedly majestic spots in regional Victoria. So come stretch your legs, breathe in the mountain air, and take a walk across history, timber by timber. And this is where I end this guide. Thank you for watching, and if you found this useful, please do hit that like and subscribe button.